this tutorial is about making this sewing project a Christmas gift bag. So let's get to it. This is what you're going to need for your Christmas gift bag. So you're going to need like an outer fabric for your Christmas gift bag, which is going to be this. This is my outer fabric. And then you're going to need an inner lining. So I'm going to use it a plain lining. I'll give you the dimensions in a sec of what to make this gift bag size. Now you can make this any size that you want it to be, but if you want to follow along with me then you can do. I'm going to make like a small Christmas gift bag. Then I'm going to use this for the handles, and I'm probably going to use some of this trim just because it looks pretty. I am also going to use some quilter's cotton just to give my Christmas gift bag a little bit of stability. So you've probably got some just remnants lying around somewhere, and if you don't, you can use like a fusible fleece, just something that has a little bit of a substance in order to make it just stand up a little bit so it's not flopping about. I have done quite a few Christmas sewing projects for 2020, so you want to go back and check them out. I have done projects like Christmas bunting and Christmas stockings, so there's quite a few that are just these last couple of weeks of Christmas sewing projects that I've done. So let's get on with making this Christmas gift bag. So what you're going to have is you're going to have 2 fabrics 8 by 8 inches of your outer. You're going to have 2 fabrics 8 by 8 of your inside lining, and you're going to have 2 pieces of your quilter's batting 8 by 8. This is what's going to make up your Christmas gift bag. Then I'm going to have some trim that I'm just going to put on to my bag, and also my handles, which can be ribbon, it can be absolutely anything. I'm going to just do ribbon just so it's easy. You're going to get all 4 pieces of your fabric, so just be careful here as a beginner. As you can see, this fabric for my outer fabric is multi-directional, so you can see that the ribbons are going upside down, ribbons are going like, so they're going all different directions. But if you have an obvious like way that your pattern is going, so if you had all Christmas trees and they're all pointing down, you're going to have to watch this next bit of this sewing tutorial, because we're going to put a box on the bottom of this bag. You're going to make sure that whatever your fabric is for your outer lining, you're going to do the box for it on the bottom of it. But like I said, this doesn't really matter because my fabric is multi-directional, so just be aware of that. So I'm just going to stack all these pieces one on top of the other like so. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pen. I'm going to use a friction pen, and I'm going to mark it on the inside of one of my linings. So you're not going to see this mark. So I've done it on the lining just so it's hidden there. And I am going to do a box here, and I think I'm just going to do it 1 inch. Like the boxed area can be as big or as small as you want it to be. I'm going to do it 1 inch. And 1 inch. So the bigger that you make this box, the wider the bottom base is going to be. So you could go like as big, I won't go too big. Like on this, I would have thought that if you did it 2 inches, that would be big enough. So don't go any bigger than a 2 inch on this box now on your Christmas gift bag. And don't go too small either. I would like, the smallest I would go is 1 inch. So basically what this box is going to do on our Christmas gift bag is going to help our Christmas gift bag to stand up on its own. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut through all 4 layers like so. I mean, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So if you go over slightly, it's not life or death. And then I'm going to come to the other side, and I'm just going to cut. And just making sure you guys can see there. There you go. So we have it all cut at the bottom here. We're going to do the same thing with the batting section here. So I'm just going to mark again 1 inch. Now I'm not going to be able to do this with a friction pen because it's just not going to be easy. So I've just got like a felt tip pen. So as long as we can see where that 1 inch is, we are good to go. And then I'm going to straight away cut. It's harder to mark with that fluffy stuff. There we go. Seriously, this sewing project is going to come together so quickly, so let's head over to the sewing machine. So this is my sewing machine. She is the Baby Lock Soprano and she is awesome sauce. And this is the sewing machine setups that we are going to do today. I'm pretty much going to keep everybody at the manufacturing setting apart from this center one here. I'm going to increase it to a 3.0. I'm going to keep my regular foot on, which is the J foot. And this is basically the foot that you would use for any kind of regular straight stitch utility stitching. At this moment in time, I'm going to activate this pivot key and I'll let you know what that does in a little bit because it's a lifesaver. Absolutely wonderful feature. In the top thread, we are going to have just a regular polyester cotton and we're going to have the regular polyester cotton in our bobbin. And our needle is going to be a 9014 Microtex sewing needle. This technique is really going to work on any size bag that you want to make. So if you want to make this 2 times, 3 times bigger, you go ahead and do that. So basically, this is the outer fabric, remember, so this is the outside of our Christmas gift bag, and we are going to put both of these fabrics right sides together. Pretty sides together, right sides together, whatever you want to call it. With our sewing machine, we are going to sew all the way down here, then we're going to sew all the way along here, and then we're going to sew all the way down here. We're going to keep this open because this is a Christmas gift bag and we want to get our Christmas gifts in the bag, so don't close this one up here. And I'll let you know what to do with the boxed out corners in a second. So just a little tip, always keep your needle in that down position, and I am just going to start to sew on my sewing machine. Now the moment I lift my presser foot up, this presser foot is going to lift up and down. As you notice, I'm not going to the back of the machine, raising that foot up and down. Now I'm going to press my presser foot down and it's going to lower. I'm going to press my foot accelerator down. It's going to lower my presser foot. See that? So I'm not going behind that machine. And also it helps to maneuver my fabric around so I can pivot easily. That's why it's called the pivot key. Okay, let's get sewing. You're going to go all the way to the end of this boxed out corner and sew off. And then I'm going to sew the bottom of my Christmas gift bag. And then I'm going to raise this up and I'm going to sew again all the way down here. So this is what it looks like, and by the way, just as an FYI, in that description box down below, I actually put timestamps in my sewing tutorials. So you can literally click on whichever part of this sewing tutorial we are up to, and if you're making it again for a second time, you can select the part that you actually want to watch. So that's just an FYI. So we currently have everything, like we've got the open part of our Christmas gift bag here, and then obviously we've got these bits still open. So I just want you to take a look at what I am going to do here. You're going to take your bag and you are going to put these seams together like so. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I've done here. This is my bag and I put it on its side like so. And then I'm just going to put these 2 seams. So you've got this seam coming at the side and you've got this seam at the bottom, and you're going to match them. And then you're going to sew straight across here. So when you sew both sides, this is what it's going to end up looking like. And as you can see, this can now actually just stand up. I'm going to do the same thing with my lining pieces, and on the reverse of my lining I'm going to have the quilter's cotton. You shouldn't need to like attach it or anything because it's quite staticky and it'll stay attached just with the static. So I'm going to put both of these pieces right sides together. So you got them right sides together. I'm going to do this exactly the same thing. I'm going to sew all the way down like so, but on the lining pieces I'm going to keep a little bit open. So I'm not going to go all the way across here. I'm going to have a little portion of this open. So I'm going to sew this and I'll come back at each part and let you know what I'm doing. Sewing down one of the first bits, one of the first side sections. I'm sure I made that more complicated than it actually sounded or needed to be. So this is the bottom of your bag here. So I'm going to sew it up. Oh. It's not quite caught there. So here we go. But I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm going to stop a little bit on the back stitch and I'm going to come off. And then I'm going to pick it up. So I need to leave a gap here. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to sew the rest of it. And then I'm just going to sew this bottom bit up here. There we go. Don't get too caught up in seam allowances. Do it about like 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, whatever you want to do, and just do the same thing again where you're just marrying these two seam allowances. Oh look, it's talking to us. And then we're just going to sew this shut with our sewing machine. So everything is sewed up on this Christmas gift bag. You've got your sides and then you've got the boxed out corners. However, we have this little hole here and I'll let you know what this little hole is going to be there for. It's very useful, so make sure that you have left space at the bottom here. So we now have two bags. We have the lining and we have the outer. So what I am going to do is I am going to fold the outer piece right sides out, just like that. And we're going to keep the lining piece exactly how it is. Now, we are going to place our Christmas gift bag outer piece inside the inside lining, like so. And then you are going to match your seams up. So you're just going to get a wonder clip. I love using wonder clips. And we are just going to peg that there. And we are going to get our other seam of our bag. I'm going to match it to the other seam of the lining, the inside lining of our Christmas gift bag. There we go. And now before we sew this up, we are going to want to make sure that we put our handles in place, because we want some handles to hold our Christmas gifts into place. There's no right or wrong way. I will literally just get my handles and think, okay, how long do I want them? And I'm going to estimate around about here. So I have two handles, two pieces of ribbon at 11 inches in length. So what we are going to do now is we are going to make sure that our handles aren't twisted for a start, and we are going to put them in between the lining and the outside layer of our Christmas gift bag. So we are going to get some wonder clips again, and you're going to kind of place it kind of like 1 inch, like estimate it like 1 inch to 1.5 inches from that seam. So I'm just going to get a wonder clip and place that into place. And I'm just going to push everything down. Just make sure that nothing gets twisted. I mean, you can always correct it. Like, there's no harm done. and I'm just going to put that there. I'm just estimating, but about 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from that seam will be good. I'm going to get another wonder clip, and I'm just going to clip that into place. Now when it comes to the other side, you've kind of got that ball part like from the other side, so you're going to get your handle, and you're going to lie that flat, and you're going to pretty much try and line it up with the other one on the other side, and just make sure your handles are in between that lining and the outer section, and you've got the raw edge coming up from that ribbon. So I'm going to put a wonder clip into place. Just makes it easier. Just make sure that you don't have your handle twisted, and I'm just going to make sure that that mirrors the other side of my Christmas gift bag. And I'm going to put another wonder clip into place, and now we're going to take this over to the sewing machine. Last week I did a Christmas stocking sewing project, and I made it a little bit too tiny, so I couldn't utilise the neck of my sewing machine, because this actually pops off. And then you can get your bag or your sewing project. Let's just call it your sewing project. You can get your sewing project into your sewing machine on the neck here. And this is what this is used for. So you can literally sew all the way around with ease. So, okay, I'm just going to get myself set up and we'll start sewing. Again, what I'm going to say is do it about 1/4 inch, like 1/2 inch, whatever seam allowance. Just make sure that you're catching everything inside and start sewing all the way around. Just make sure that these handles haven't moved on you. Just make sure they're straight. And continue sewing. What I will do on this Christmas gift bag is just tidy some of this up at the top before I start flipping it through. So just make sure you don't cut into the stitches, but take a little bit of the bulk away. And go all the way around. This is where the magic is going to happen of this Christmas gift bag. So basically we've got that little opening here. So we're going to pull everything through that opening. And now you're going to see all the magic come to life of your sewing project. Push it all the way through. This is the part that you're going to correct any mistakes. If you see anything, if like there's a twist in your handles or anything like that, now is the time to correct it, because you can push it all back through and then sew it all again. Or if you've missed something in your sewing, you can just double check. I seem to be okay. So basically what we can do now is close this up. So you're going to bend it, fold it back on itself like so, and you're just going to, if you want to be pedantic, you can get some teal thread and you can match this up. I'm just going to do it with white. So I'm going to sew all this down here. And here you go, that is all sewed up. So right now we can push everything down. So our Christmas gift bag is nearly complete. Nearly, nearly, nearly. Hold on, don't be going anywhere. Now you thought I'd forgotten that trim, didn't you? Go on, be honest. But I'm going to put it on right now. So I'm going to put it on around the top here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch all the way around here just to hold everything all into place and be flat. But I am going to put this trim on around the top as I am top stitching. Okay, I'm going rogue, I'm not pinning. So I'm just going to put this into place. And I am going to, I can lift the back of this up even higher if I want to. Press the foot down, put the needle down into place, and then I'm just going to start sewing. And I'm just going to go round, all the way around my bag. Keep sewing. So guys, what do you think of this tutorial? Please give me a comment down below. if you think it's amazing, because I'm sure you do. I want to know what you're going to put inside your Christmas gift bag. Maybe this could even be a Christmas gift just for yourself. Let's just make Christmas gifts for ourselves. Go all the way around. So have you seen how easy this really is? And seriously, it can be as big or as small as you want. This is the same idea to make a tote bag, guys. And then I'm coming to the end, so I'm just gonna back stitch. And I'm just gonna show, and this is all sequins. Don't be worried about sewing sequins. Sequins are fun. Look, it stands up all by itself. Isn't it clever? How cute is that? If you've enjoyed making this sewing tutorial, please like, comment and even subscribe. I would love to have you. Now I need to go away and find something to put in my gift or leave it somewhere where somebody will put something in it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!